everyone, it's GT time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Happy New Year!
Daniel Bloodworth.
Good morning.
In the super seat this week, Mike Huber.
Happy New Year, I like that.
Yeah.
Happy
And
New Year.
making this all happen with the buttons, with the switches, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Hey, welcome everybody.
Switches be like,
It is a new year. This is great though, isn't it? It feels refreshing. This is our first episode of the new year. 2016 is already exciting.
2015 ruled. I'm
miss it.
I'm pumped for 2016.
2016 is just, I have so much hope for this year. It's just like there's an electricity about it.
And if I don't get what I want, at least I can see your hopes crushed. At least I can enjoy that.
There is still some fun to that.
get
I
a
agree
front
with
row
that.
Dude,
seat.
we were talking yesterday. There are like 2 GOTY contenders possibly next month.
What are those 2 GOTY contenders?
XCOM 2 and Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna knock out XCOM 2 right now. Let me do you a favor.
Hard.
Ben has been playing
Wow.
that game. You need to watch that preview.
It's really good.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, Huber has too.
It
really
is
good.
almost definitely a lock for best strategy game already. You know,
Right.
what can
It's
topple
super
it?
good.
January.
We should just change that to only strategy games.
Yeah.
No, there's that Homeworld Deserts of Karak that we're going to try to check out too.
Wait, what?
That was
Homeworld,
just nonsense.
Yeah. What-
Homeworld Deserts of Karak. It was originally had a worse name, and then somehow they managed to get Homeworld licensing. So
I was like, Homeworld.
But they
Home
also
Alone,
had-
Turok.
They also got the Croc license.
Oh, that'd be great.
Karak
Karak.
with a K.
Dude,
Okay.
you remember Croc?
I love Croc.
That was the best.
Huber, you are in the super seat this week, so we have a question for you.
Oh, I forgot about this.
We're giving you force powers.
Okay.
You're getting force powers, dude.
Oh,
Imagine
yeah, okay.
that.
I already have my answer.
But you have to choose someone else on this planet who will also get force powers.
Okay.
Who do you choose?
I choose Guillermo del Toro so that he can Jedi mind trick anyone in the film or video game industry to get whatever he wants made.
But here's the thing, Guillermo, I don't think we'll use his powers like that. You'll have to manipulate Guillermo, I think. You'll have to be like, do it. You know, you will have to do that
He
for
goes to the
Guillermo.
dark side.
So wait, are they both Siths then?
Cool. Dude, yes.
Huber manipulates Guillermo into being a Sith because he would
Cool.
be a good guy.
Yeah.
But you're just like, no, you have to use your powers for this. Do it.
And the Sith, all they do is make really crazy horror movies.
Yep.
It's some Disney exec who's just like, Guillermo, I can't afford it.
I can't make this movie.
And Guillermo comes to you just like, Huber, I don't think I should do this. And you're just like, do it. Reach out with your feet.
So wait a minute. If there has to be balance to the Force, though,
I hope
and
not.
and Guillermo
I don't know if
and
balance of the
Huber,
force was balance of the force an issue in this.
Right.
No. There's,
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
I think-
we just have 2 Siths making Guillermo movies.
Yeah,
now.
30 years down the line in this scenario, there will be new people who do appear with force powers, but we
Right.
don't know.
Can Guillermo go into a cave and find a light cycle?
He can, yes.
Okay, cool. As long as that still applies.
Let's get into corrections music. Begin corrections music, please. This happened like 3 weeks ago. It seems like a long time ago. There are actually many digital PlayStation games that cannot be re-downloaded besides PT. I thought PT was the only one, but there's a lot.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that you could have bought. I think they were
Something that
called-
you paid for that you can't get again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree to it in those user agreements that we all just sign. But yeah, I guess that's the reality of the world we live in, which sucks. It does suck. Batman Arkham Knight was actually an Unreal 3, not Unreal 4 engine. How crazy is that?
Looks good.
Yeah. Unreal 3 kind of lived and died pretty quickly. Unreal 4 just kind of supplanted it pretty quickly in a weird way. Kojima Productions.
Wait,
Unreal 3 is just like, you know, I don't feel like it was around for that long.
that was like the whole last gen.
Was that Unreal 3? I thought that was Unreal 2.
Pretty sure it was Unreal 3. And now we're gonna need another
here we
correction.
Another
go.
correction on
Okay,
Unreal.
bring it
Corrections
on.
within corrections is always awesome.
Kojima Productions actually never officially stated they're using Unreal 4. That was on me. Baba Yaga is a folk character
Baba
from
Yaga.
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 They told me how to pronounce it even in the corrections.
Oh, well, then it's Microsoft that's mispronouncing it.
Are they? Are they saying Baba Yaga?
Pretty sure it said Baba Yaga.
Baba
didn't it?
Yaga.
I think in the English dub for Spirited Away, they said Baba Yaga too.
Yaga is the way to
Yaga.
say it. You got to hit that ga. That's Slavic folklore. Baba means old wench, a less respectful version of babushka, which means grandmother, and Yaga is her name. Yaga is her name. So there we all know how to say it now. A lot of people were mad that I said 30% instead of 33.3%. So there you have it. There's an extra 3.3% for you. You can even repeat the threes if you want.
Even that's not accurate because
Yeah,
you got to keep
3,
doing those
3,
threes
Oh my gosh.
for the rest
You
of
have
your
to
life.
say 33.3 repeating.
Yes.
That's how you do that.
That's how. You're right. That's everyone. You're right. I should have done that in the heat of the moment.
How dare! I don't even
when-
know what this is in reference
When
to.
Bowser's
This is
big
a reference
blast
to
was
Mario
happening-
Party.
Yeah, when Bowser's big blast was going on, I should have said 33.3 repeating percent every time it happened.
Or just a third. That'll do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 1/3.
Slightly related update to Baba Yaga: Rise of the Tomb Raider launching on PC January 28th. That was announced recently.
It's pronounced Risei of the Tomb Raider.
Risei. I'm so
Yeah,
okay.
Risei.
There's another correction for you. And
I don't think we've seen that yet. If somebody's seen that, let me know.
Oh, the actual like
because I
footage of
couldn't
it.
find any footage of the PC version. Yeah.
No, and there's like unannounced upgrades that came with the announcement, which is weird too. It's like, and other things will be better. It's like, well, tell us. Lastly, corrections of the week. This comes from Boomer, who gave us. Well, you're the one who started this conversation last week. I kind of made fun of Boomer, and Boomer in the comments says, for the record, $15 is roughly 4 lunches for me, 6 to 8 if I cook, because I called $15 1.5 lunches, and like
In
Boomer.
California, it's one lunch.
Yeah.
I bought a
where
salad
does Boomer
yesterday.
live?
Salad and my salad and water yesterday was 15 and change. It's
I
insane.
don't think I've paid less than $20 for lunch, like, in months.
Maybe
Everything
that-
is so expensive.
So
around
I think
here.
that is warping what we think a video game is worth. And so I think, like,
Yeah.
honestly, like, for Boomer, $15, that's 4 lunches.
Oh, but we do like destination
60
lunches.
bucks, that's
But if
3
you go to the
lunches.
market and get, like bread and
Lettuce.
lettuce and make sandwiches and stuff, then
Yeah.
then you can spread that out.
So
I gotta
Boomer's
do
doing
that.
it
Or
right.
just peanut butter.
2016.
Yeah, peanut butter and bread.
Boomer, I'm sorry for making so much fun of you, and thanks for being a good sport. And corrections music, please. Before we get into news, I also have to give props to Michael Huber, who, when Kojima was getting fired, in our episode of GT Time called "Konami is a Bad Place to Work." Oh, so he still worked there at the time. You said he's going to Sony,
Yeah.
so you get
Yeah.
some werehogs for that,
Cool,
man.
yeah,
Props,
okay.
good job.
They had a
So you get a lightning
relationship.
bolt? What does he
They had
get?
a relationship
How many
before.
werehogs?
So it
does
made
he get?
sense.
All the werehogs?
I guess a bundle. I think it gets a good bundle of werehogs.
Stout bundle of werehogs.
A stout bundle of
So
werehogs.
wearing my Kojima shirt today too. There you go.
For
Diamond
listeners, it's a really nice Diamond Dog shirt. I love that shirt.
let's
dude.
see
Yeah,
that
I have a
shirt
Diamond
again,
Dog
man.
shirt, but I'm really digging that one. It's like it's gray. It's like a black shirt with the gray logo, but the gray is super dark. Like on a sunny day, you're not gonna notice that at all. It's gonna be a black shirt.
Whereas
Like-
Brandon's is the 80s neon one.
Yeah, mine's all like
I like that one
mine's
too.
all Vice City.
I have none of those. I really think I'm going to go ahead and buy the Kojima production shirt. I think it's lame to buy something that,
That logo
doesn't
is
exist
so
yet.
hot.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Top 10 company logos.
Yeah, it's up there.
Ooh, that'd be a fun one.
I'm into this.
That'd be a short video.
Capture for that video would be sweet.
It's really funny. I've seen like a lot of criticisms about the logo. And like
Oh,
this
I
doesn't
love it.
follow the rules of logos. And it's just like
What-
I think the
what
rules of
rules?
logos because like it should be like you should be able to identify it from like 100 yards away. You know what I mean? Like it should be so simple.
Okay.
You should just be immediately able to tell what
But
that
you're
thing
not
is.
gonna put that on a billboard either.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes with it's got his name on it,
Yeah.
so you can read his name. So
Yeah. I think logos are different when you're just depending on what kind of company.
but fans
you
have done the coolest things. Have you seen like just like giant skeleton mechs and
Yeah.
like big like guys in armor and all that stuff, and then just put the head on top?
If that logo is on
yes.
any box, I'm buying that box.
Yeah. Buying that game.
Done.
Let's get in the news. We have
Wait,
big
wait.
news. What's wrong?
Is it this logo with the fox?
No,
no,
dude.
no,
That's
no,
the
it's a
old
new
one.
one. Kojima.
Well, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I googled Kojima Productions logo, and that's what comes up.
So that is, that's the Foxhound unit logo. So he cannot use that ever again.
Oh, that's really sad.
Wait,
Yeah.
is it?
But I'm sorry, there's a tangent. Isn't there something else called Foxhound? Isn't there like a fox that's just like just his face? Like, I see
Yeah,
guys with
yes.
like t-shirts and
Yeah.
sweaters and like don't
Yeah,
with the knife. The fox has
There's
the
no
knife.
knife. It's just I get like
It's got a knife.
Yeah.
Wait, it's this thing with the like knight or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Heck yeah.
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 That is a weird logo. I mean, the text is cool.
It's a bold logo. I like it. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
do.
It's aggressive.
There's technically like 3 Foxhound logos because there's also the cartoonish one where he's got 2 guns in the air.
yeah.
But I think
Yeah, I love that one.
there's like an apparel company called Foxhound or something. Like there's
Oh,
like a
probably.
t-shirt line called Foxhound that has like the face of a fox. There's no knife. It's kind of cartoon. It's not really cartoony. It's just very.
Well-
it's like a good logo because it's very simple.
Send us your corrections immediately.
But I submit that for a correction. 'Cause I'm probably
Isn't
wrong.
a foxhound like an actual kind of dog? Let me Google it. I'll just Google it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so-
the hound that hunts foxes.
Yeah. It is funny to use a fox for unit fox. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about news. Here's the big news. Here's what's on the tip of the tongues
Tip of the spear.
Yeah, foxhound is a type of large hunting hound. Yeah, strong hunting
That's it.
instincts.
That's what everyone's talking about
What
right
about
now.
the fox
Energy.
and the hound?
And like all scent hounds, a keen sense
Is that a
of smell.
foxhound? Is the fox? Is the fox a foxhound in the Fox and the Hound?
I think he's a basset hound. He's just like, I'm a hound dog, you know? Oh my gosh.
But then the-
that movie makes me cry worse than anything. God, that's a sad
Yeah,
movie.
It's
But the
brutal.
foxhound
Kyle hasn't
logo,
seen anything, but he's seen
Special
Fox and the
Force,
Hound.
Looks like a fox.
We have video game news to talk about.
What are those? I don't understand.
Here's the thing: the Oculus Rift is $600 US, and
Yeah.
it's driving the world nuts.
Nuts.
Let me get into the details before we hash this out. With that $600 US, you get the headset, a sensor, an Oculus remote, all the cables, an Xbox One controller. Pre-orders get Eve Valkyrie, and everyone gets Lucky's Tale for free. So you get 2 games for free with that $600 US. Starts shipping in March for the people who pre-ordered first. However, if you pre-ordered now, you're not getting it until April. I had May written down, and that's already been updated to April. Like,
Oh,
they're-
that's good.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're selling. They're selling out these pre-orders for $600 US.
You know, April is earlier than May, right?
So it'd be June. Is it
No,
June?
no, no. It did update to April.
Maybe it updated to May. Let me check on that. Ian, can you try to up or pre-order a?
The corrections are coming
Oculus
hot
headset?
and heavy in the new year.
Pre-order
Yeah.
us all some Oculus.
Gosh.
Racking them up.
Thanks, Blood, for being on top of that. But anyway, I want to talk about the price part for as little as possible, because I just hate talking about prices and things like that. Is $600 too much?
How
No.
can
it-
anyone say? How on earth, if you don't work for that company, can you be like, yeah, they could have charged less and still made money? It's like, how the hell do you know? Because it's like, oh, when that other company released that major VR technology lately, they did something different. It's like there's no one to point to. There's no other reference. You got nothing.
Here's the thing.
You're just like upset because it's expensive. When Sony announced PlayStation 3 for $600, it was like, okay, that's not right. Like there's like just
What's the difference?
Because it was such a jump from their previous console. And what you've shown us so far of the performance and what you're putting into this machine, it's like it just something doesn't add up. Whereas in this, unless you're just like following them, day by day, letter by letter, like all their announcements, everything, it's unprecedented. Like they're the first out of the gate, and I don't see them, I see them trying to be extremely competitive with this. I just don't see them making something because they're like, haha, these suckers. Like, it's not. A lot of people aren't going to adopt this right out of the gate, no matter what. Like, it's going to be a very slow rollout.
Blood and Huber, have you been priced out? Would you ever spend $600 on a headset?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's tricky. To me, like, it's totally fine, the price. Because I mean, if you think about how much you spend on TV, especially when new TV technologies come up, and those things are in the thousands.
Yeah.
And now, like, the amount of development and research that's gone in this, the years and years that we've been talking about this, and it's like less than $1,000, I think makes a lot of sense for something that's completely new technology.
Sure, the TV comparison I'll buy, actually. That totally makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you spend $200 on a good pair of headphones. It's like.
No, Huber wants me to buy $360 headphones.
Noise canceling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our room is like an
Those
earthquake.
noise-canceling headphones are the greatest
Culmination.
headphones on the planet Earth. According to Oculus, shop.oculus.com, the
Here we go.
official
Yes.
Oculus Rift, it currently, as of this taping, says expected ship date June 2016, limit 1 per customer.
Oh, okay, so it's been pushed back that
So
way.
it's getting
yeah,
pushed
yeah.
all over
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
place.
I did that math.
So-
The price reminds me of like graphics cards and
Yeah.
consoles, and it reminds me a lot about graphics cards, because when a graphics card first hits, it's so advanced, so ahead of the previous cards in the line, and then it drops considerably in price within a year. So I think even if Oculus had come out and done like 500 or 450, I think a lot of people, you're always gonna have your early adopters that are no matter what pulling the trigger at
Yeah.
launch, and then you have those people like me. I usually always wait for that first price drop.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna wait for that.
And I do think, I mean, that's the one thing while I was looking through all of this stuff this morning is like these technologies, both of the Oculus and the Vive, they're gonna be freaking iterating, like
sure, yeah.
mad. Like in a year,
Yeah.
we're gonna see another Oculus for sure.
For that reason, yeah, we should specify that Oculus, the product is the Rift, and with HTC, the product is the Vive. And
Correct.
exactly.
And if you were a first adopter on Kickstarter, you get it for free, right?
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
I have another
Yeah.
quick question.
Sure.
Do you think the PlayStation VR has kind of killed the hype for Oculus in a way.
Whoa. No, but go on.
Because Oculus is coming out for $600. If it was like the only one, if PlayStation VR didn't exist, I think me personally would be a lot more hyped on it. I'd be like, well, I have to get this VR. This is the place. This is the time. VR. But knowing that PlayStation VR is coming out and it's going to be as simple as just plugging it up to your PS4 and the price is most certainly going to be less than $600. There's no way it's going to be more than a
better be.
PS4.
Yeah.
I can't see it being more than $400. Do you think that has had an impact?
You're right. You're right, Huber. Because personally speaking, I will just do PlayStation VR. You're right. Because in my own and Ian too. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
A
It
lot
is.
of the console market is so much bigger than the PC market. I think a lot of those PlayStation owners are kind of just holding out.
Is it bigger than the PC market?
I mean, more people
35
have PCs.
whatever million PS4s
Yeah.
now.
Everyone has a PC, but not everyone has a gaming ready
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah, and there
So
really
it's
is.
weird.
It's hard to define that really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I
that's
mean,
something
it sounds
weird.
like $1,000 PC at least is what you're going to need.
Which is
Yeah.
weird because Omar was looking at building a PC and top specs it was like 16, and then he was able to bring it down to like 12 for like a competitive
$1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just saw a quote from Palmer Luckey saying that a PC Oculus bundle is $14.99,
That makes sense.
That
but
ain't
like
bad.
that's a fairly cheap computer. So like the
Yeah.
specs might not be as hardcore.
Well, you need
for
a
an Oculus
970
computer.
graphics card, they were saying. So that's pretty.
970?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
like $350, $400.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The 960 is
This stuff gives me anxiety.
200, I think.
This stresses me out so much.
But yeah, so PlayStation VR, it's going to be interesting because, like we were just saying with these two, like they're going to iterate, they're going to change rapidly. PlayStation VR can't do that.
Yeah, Bloodworth. That is a really great point.
They
Yeah.
have to have a product, and this is PlayStation VR, and it is set.
That is a hell of a point, Bloodworth.
So
Well, and I think they know that, and so I think they want us to know that like they were here first. I mean, this is the first GT time of 2016, and we are starting
Kicking
the
off.
episode with VR.
Yeah.
you know, and not just kind of like you didn't decide just to be like, okay, so VR. You know, like I know no one's really announced anything, but let's just talk about it. Let's weigh all the different things. We are only talking about them because it's for sale. You can buy it right now. You know what date you're getting it. You know what you're getting with it. It's a thing. It's real. You know, and we're still waiting on news. You know, from the other things. And so I think I don't know if it's as severe as like a Dreamcast situation where it's just too early and then it's not going to have the longevity. But yeah, if they can iterate, you know, if they can, you know, come out, you know, not too far after PlayStation VR comes out with an update, you know, with like the Super Nintendo, you know, version of, with that, then I think it's good play. I don't think there's anything negative, whether people think it's too expensive or whatever, to be talking about this right now.
Cool.
I don't understand why PSVR couldn't iterate. I mean, certainly they'll try to make it cheaper, and I think they could upgrade the firmware and the software behind the scenes. I think they could iterate just as much as, I mean, maybe not as much, but I think they could iterate.
but I think that's the thing when you start talking about stuff like, you know, the Vive putting the front-facing camera and stuff. You know, any kind of games that would, you know,
And
be
PC.
changed by things that they update.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't have like multiple VRs out there and like your game is compatible with VR 3.
And PC versus PlayStation, it's an open platform. It's like,
Yeah.
I just wonder if the Vive or the PSVR will work. Because, like, my favorite way to play, I guess it doesn't matter if I'm using VR, but, like, usually I use it on the projector, and, like, that light's going to destroy the VR. It's not going to work.
Wait, what?
it's a personal issue.
No,
Yeah.
but and also like lamps, like what? Like the PSVR like has to be in a dark space or something? Because at
No,
E3 or
what?
whatever, they're all freaking out about lights and stuff around the VR because it would ruin it.
Well, for me, a big thing,
Maybe not. though, I don't know.
personally, kind of the deciding factor, other than having to keep a PC upgraded, is the motion control of the DualShock lends itself really well to VR and even PlayStation Move. I read 2 weeks ago that the Oculus Touch and all that stuff has been delayed further.
Yes, it has.
So, you know, that's kind of
Well,
Control
Oculus
schemes are a whole
Touch,
other issue,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
that was one of the most impressive demos I saw all year last year. But at the same time, it was very much like, this is a technology demo. Like, what kind of game would be supporting it? I'm not sure.
I just want to share a quick aside before we move on from VR. I was at my cousin's house for Christmas, and he just had the stupid, like, the Samsung phone one.
it's awesome.
Gear
It's
VR.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
We played Temple Run,
Yeah.
And that game is so stupid. You play it with a touchpad on the side of the headset, and I was having a blast.
Yeah.
I was turning around and looking at the monsters chasing me, and I was like, "Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh!"
Yeah.
I was having so much fun. I was in broad daylight. I don't think the lamp thing is true, Ian. I think
No, I realized that was earlier demos at E3. Like at PSX, it was in a lit room. It didn't matter. So,
Yeah, gosh,
never mind.
just even the low quality of the phone being pressed up to your face, that
That's-
was still incredible to me. I was having so much fun.
To bring this back to the beginning with the $600 price point, I think it's so jarring and it's freaking people out because the majority of people haven't been able to try VR.
Yeah.
So it's like you're coming out charging $600, and if there were a way for them to offer some kind of demo or give people a way to experience it, I think the $600 would.
Best Buy.
Well, I think the consumer confidence of people actually getting the product in their hands. You know,
Yeah.
it's like how many people are going to spend that money that can, that are like looking at this price point and being like, I don't care, I'm getting that anyway. There's no question. Like it could be $1,000. I'm buying it right now.
Yeah, that's kind of
and
your
those
first
people are
point.
going to be
Yeah.
so stoked, and they're going to come out. You know, someone on GameSpot, someone on IGN, someone are going to come out and be like, bought it, played it, it's amazing. You know, like
Yeah.
you should go get it. And then like, what do you know? A couple months later, price drops. They announce some new thing. And so you're like,
To
okay,
me-
I'll pre-order that. I'll get it next year.
To me, the bigger concern to me than the price is what are you going to be playing on this thing? Like to me, for my money right now, there's Elite Dangerous, Eve Valkyrie, and probably No Man's
You're going to
Sky.
be going back and you're going to be playing Deus Ex Human Revolution in
But I mean,
Oculus.
has anybody proved that doing a first-person shooter is cool in VR? Because like everyone's
Yes.
complaint back in the day was like, if you move yourself with a controller, you get sick.
Crytek's working on a first-person shooter.
No, Sony's huge one. The biggest booth they had at PSX.
Riggs.
Was Riggs, yeah.
Riggs
Yeah.
is
Oh,
fun.
Riggs,
Yeah. What is Oculus says they'll have 20 exclusive games for the Rift within this year. Sony says they'll have 100 games.
Yeah,
Not
I see. So
necessarily exclusive,
that's
but yeah.
that's
The
also
Insom-
Sony's edge. They're,
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have the software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Insomniac game's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
The one that's on
Yeah, it
Oculus.
sounds really
Which
neat.
one is that?
That one's exclusive to
It's
Oculus.
called
Edge of Nowhere?
Edge of Nowhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of yeah, it feels sort of like a mix between like Uncharted and Resistance.
Yeah, it's a third-person game, Ian.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is
Apparently
it
got
Oculus
some-
only, you said?
It's got some
Yeah.
Cthulhu
Yeah.
monsters
How's that
in.
possible?
Yeah, it's some gothic horror Cthulhu.
You're in,
That
Ian.
sounds awesome. How could you not put it on the Vive as well?
I think Oculus has been buying up exclusives. I think they've been making
Yeah, they might. They
partnerships.
just
I don't understand
Oculus
how
is
that
just
would
like, if
work.
you're going to, that's fine. Just don't say anything about it right now because
Yeah.
Yeah.
we want
Apparently,
everybody to think.
from a
it's
friend
just us.
who develops games is developing a game for VR.
Inside Scoop.
He was developing on the Oculus at first.
Yeah.
And then now he's developing for the Vive, and he said like even the Oculus sometimes wasn't bulletproof, like
Oh yeah.
motion sickness wise. He says the Vive they just like fixed it. He's like they did it. They found a way. It's bulletproof.
What controls on your middle finger right now? Like, what are you just hanging on?
This here.
You're just like, just in case. I gotta
That's
be
this.
ready.
Gosh, that sounds cool. All right, now we know.
That was really awesome.
Love
Because
that new
you
board.
never know, and you need to hit that just immediately.
Yeah.
That sounds
Ian's
really
on it.
cool.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the newest Kotaku leak of the year. Assassin's Creed will probably be skipping a year, as according to Kotaku. Let me get through the details again. Here's what was reported in the article. Launching in 2017. So no Assassin's Creed this year. It'll be codenamed, or is codenamed Empire.
You can't say no Assassin's Creed because Assassin's Creed Chronicles India
India.
comes out next week.
What is Assassin's Creed Chronicles?
I have it.
It's
what's
like
that?
it's a
There's two
2D.
coming out.
It's the
Two
2D
of them.
game, right?
It's
well,
that
2.5D.
that everyone
Yeah.
hated.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
all right.
sequel to the China, and then there's another one for Russia.
I'll say no proper entry this year. We'll say that. It's gonna be,
Mainline.
this one will be set in Egypt. Here's an interesting bit from the article. One person familiar with Ubisoft's upcoming gaming plans told me this afternoon that the decision to delay Empire from fall 2016 was made after 2014's disappointing Unity. So why that's interesting to me is basically they couldn't react to Unity last year. You know, everything was set in
We
stone
just
too
lose
much.
something.
No, what's wrong?
No, the thing just fell off the try button.
Okay.
No, it's
We're
all
fine.
good.
Is the camera still set? Yeah.
We're still
on
podcasting.
it.
Basically, that they couldn't react until 2014 until now. Yeah, this is a reaction to that. That part's interesting to me.
Well, the reaction is the beginning of the development of that game. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like these games are in development. You know, like when an Assassin's Creed comes out, there are at least 2 Assassin's Creeds in the cooker. You know, like whether one just got started like a couple months ago. So it wasn't like they waited to make that decision. You know, it's like right when that bad stuff for 14 happened. It's like, okay, too late for Syndicate, but we can at least learn the lesson. And hey, after playing Black Ops 3, yeah, more time is great.
More
You know, especially
time.
for a franchise that can
But
possibly get
imagine if
fatigued.
imagine if there was no Advanced Warfare. It just went from Ghosts to Black Ops 3.
It would have been huge. Black Ops
know?
3 would
Yeah.
have been huge. You're
Just
right.
franchise fatigue is so real, especially when there's just so many games out.
But so is Activision's bottom line, Huber. It's also very real.
Ubisoft's
Business.
bottom line is huge.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's pretty incredible Ubisoft is finally willing to take a year off. I think
But-
that's a big deal.
Because it's going to affect sales.
Wait,
you
but
know?
wait a minute though, because they're saying if 2017 is all we have, they could still get that out in the first quarter, and it would be the last quarter of fiscal year, right?
Sure. I think that'll be fall 2017, though. That's
Maybe.
my guess.
Yeah.
Because I think it'll be the big game of Ubisoft for that year. And
Do you think they're trying to get it out of the way of the Division?
No, I don't.
well, that's the thing. Ubisoft has
Division's
so
soon,
many
Ian.
games.
Division is like March.
Ubisoft
really?
has
Yeah.
The Division. They have For Honor, and they have Watch Dogs 2, which for all intents and purposes
And Ghost Recon.
and Ghost Recon. And Watch Dogs 2 fills the Assassin's Creed void.
Okay, so let's cover Watch Dogs 2 real quickly,
Mm-hmm.
because that was also mentioned in this article, also heavily rumored just this week that Watch Dogs 2 is also happening.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just at the end of the Kotaku article, that it's going to be coming this year, will take place in San Francisco. And it's just so, I think what's weird is we just accept these things. Watch Dogs 2 officially to
Well,
everyone-
someone at Kotaku works at
Yeah.
Ubisoft. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
like that's just going to happen every time. You know, it's like
Yeah.
they should.
There's a
like
leak.
Kotaku should have their own Ubisoft event now. They should literally just like at the beginning of every year, it's going to be like, well, we talked to Frank last week, and turns out, you know, here's what's happening.
I don't
just
know.
like, you know.
Okay, let's do it, Brandon,
It's
because
like one of my favorite ad campaigns ever, Assassin's Creed. Like all those trailers year after year, and it's just like, stop making trailers, I guess. You know, just you know, let Kotaku let everybody know everything you're
I
doing.
hate it. I hate it.
yeah, so does Brandon. Brandon, we have this conversation
I hate this.
yearly because Kotaku does leak an Assassin's Creed
Right.
game yearly. Does this bother you that they reported on it maybe skipping a year? Does that
Not as much because it's so early.
Yeah.
It's like just being like Egypt. You're like, okay, at least I can forget about that. So that like later on, you know, but if then like 5 months from now, Kotaku's like, here, drawings. It's like, stop. Like, please let me have that moment. It's like on December 21st, if your brother just came in the room and he was like, here. You're like, what is this? And you're like, oh, cool. Did you buy me a figure? Like, no, I just went under the tree and opened a present. And you're like, okay. And it's like, our parents were hiding that from you. And you're like, yeah, well, yeah, but it was kind of an agreed upon. It's weird. Yeah, I know they lied to us about Santa Claus and that was tough to get over, but it's like, I just thought there was kind of, you know, like, and again, like Kotaku's response would be like, they're not our parents. We're not family. We're in a business now. And it's like, yes, I understand, but it is still less exciting.
Yeah.
You are still just
And it's not-
taking that excitement out.
and the defense-
I'm never going to apologize for wanting to be excited about something. Like,
The defense of like, oh, it's journalism. Like, oh, we're breaking stories. It's like, you're not breaking some news scandal.
Yes, it's
like
a spotlight.
No one is being sketch at Ubisoft like, oh, we're hiding this from the public. It's like, no, that's a video game announcement. Let them announce it on their terms.
or not, and have it like leave us in March or April being like, I don't think we're getting one this year, guys. You know,
Yeah.
and like let that just kind of.
And then that Egypt trailer hits, and everyone's like, oh, Egypt, oh, 2017 at the very end. It's like, whoa, they're taking a year off. It's like, that would have been cool.
There's a really cool reveal that you could do considering everything that's led up, especially considering Egypt's now going way back. You know, it's like there's something that they're trying to do there. That
Absolutely.
reveal is gone.
Yep.
Gone. Like that trailer will never happen.
100%.
It is impossible.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
We'll never get that.
And the fact that they're taking
there will
a year
never
off?
there will never be that moment where the Raiders of the Lost Ark, you see the staff and they go down the temple. Oh my God! Like gone. They killed it. Some guy at Kotaku was like, nope, mine. And it's
Yep.
like, that irks me. I'm not going to say it's not the way you should do your business. I'm not going to say it's not journalism. I'm not going to say like, you know, Kotaku should be run differently. It's like, what? It's their website. They can do whatever they want. But like, it will always make me sad. I will always prefer the opposite.
Yeah.
It is funny because at the end of last year, they ran that article. Totilo wrote that article just about like, here's why we're blacklisted by
Right.
Ubisoft, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Well,
well, you just did
that's
this
a whole
again,
that's a
man.
whole different story.
Like defending.
Be proud of it. Yeah. Be like, you know,
Yeah.
wear that blacklist like a badge. Be like, I'm collecting them. I'm literally going company by company. Just I don't care.
I just don't get like the high horse of like journalism stance.
Okay, so
by,
actually-
by releasing that, you know.
I should be more fair to Kotaku because the reason they wrote this article is because it leaked on 4chan, and then they said this
Yeah.
matches with the things that I've heard from my sources.
So it came out on 4chan first.
Yes, it did come out on 4chan first. I don't want to
Okay.
be too unfair to
Yeah,
Kotaku.
absolutely.
I feel bad about that.
Okay, I agree.
But yeah. The reason, but they basically confirmed it all with this article. Now we know Assassin's Creed is taking a year off, whereas before it was just 4chan.
Yeah.
which you can't always trust.
It's also not the biggest news I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
Like
It's
I don't
big
really
news. Brandon, it's big news. When's the last
a
year?
game not happening is not.
When
is
is the last time that
a
happened?
delay of a game I knew was going to happen? Like
Uh-huh.
it's weird because it's like this is good news, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it's good news for
Yeah,
sure.
This
Yeah.
is nothing but good news.
Yeah.
but it does, I just the way it's framed seems to be. It's weird to like sneak into a company to get some good news. Like look at that. They were hiding that good news from us. It's you know,
Exactly,
it's like
that's what I'm saying.
it's like leaks are like supposed to be the other thing where
Sure.
like, you know, and that's the defense that they usually bring up is that they're like, well, look at all these leaks we've done in the past where it's just like we expose people, you know, Konami, horrible things happening to people.
Which I
don't know
totally
specifically if they have,
respect.
but like
Yeah, I
like,
love that.
If the company got shut down, you know, it's
Yeah.
like we'll get in there and figure
Bad
out what
working
happened and why,
conditions.
you
Oh, they had
know,
a good Destiny
where they
article.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what happened there.
But like to steal an announcement, like you were saying, to steal that hype and to
But if,
steal that.
but if it
and-
was 4chan, I don't want to harp on it for too long. But,
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
it was less about
Because
my
they will
opinion on this
destroy
thing,
us.
but yeah, we will be destroyed.
So let's move on then. Let's talk about Microsoft did an interesting thing at the beginning of this year. Talked about some sales. It was basically a PR statement. But the interesting part of this PR statement is it talks about 2016. And so I actually just want to read these things off. What's coming to the Xbox One in 2016? Because I think it's kind of bold actually to just come out and say, okay, and here's what 2016 is coming because it's pretty huge. Here's everything. Gears of War 4 is happening this year. The multiplayer beta is in the spring, and then it will launch in fall of 2016. The beta in the spring is a pretty big deal. That's cool. Quantum Break is coming April 5th. For listeners, that's blood worth clapping. Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2 is coming to Xbox One and Windows 10 in the fall.
Wow.
What's interesting to me about the April 5th, again, going back to fiscals,
Sure.
like that's the beginning of fiscal. So like they're starting off their financial year strong.
Whereas usually
Nerd.
it's something that you end the financial year with, right? You wait until the end of the year. to launch.
You try to boost your stuff right at the end of the year, yeah.
It's probably worth saying though that Quantum Break has been delayed many times.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, it's probably ready. It's probably fully cooked at this point. Sean Ashmore is
Quality
ready to
control
go.
right now.
Yeah, you know what? Stop me if you want to talk about any of these games. We'll of course talk about big stories at the end. But yeah, if you want to,
I want to talk about Gears.
Okay, what's up?
I'm excited.
Sure.
I'm really excited because
curious.
there was a lot of heat when they showed it at E3. They showed it at E3, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they showed it at E3.
Yes.
It was a really risky thing to show because not a lot happened. But I think that is what they were showing was the tone. It was very dark. It was like
was
this,
nighttime?
Yeah, it was this
Yep.
survival horror style Gears of War, and I'm incredibly excited to see more of that.
Bringing
game.
the fear back.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's really hard to create suspense in that series. For survival horror type of suspense. I don't know if that's what it'll continue.
I
on
think
whole
the
game.
first game had some of that, and it kind
First one did.
of got lost, yeah.
Gears
think so?
within, Huber. Gears within.
Gears Within.
But you're a huge dude with a huge gun.
Yeah, who could just get eaten if you stepped into
So
the shadows?
if you
yeah.
keep the danger high enough, you think
Yeah.
there can still be survival horror type suspense, is what you're saying?
Because there were
Yeah,
like
I see what you're saying.
creepy, scary monsters that could kill you in one hit, or just
Oh
like
yeah, one had the whole darkness area. We
scary.
were pushing the car because it was
Yeah.
lit, and so like you had to
That's
stay
from
near the fire.
Oh man,
and, you know,
yeah,
like,
that's like one of the first things they showed of that game,
Yeah.
and it just looked incredible.
And then of course, like last gen, that every sequel was just about like more explosions and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it feels like they're.
yeah, 3 literally had that giant vomit monster, and I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm okay, I'm good.
So it feels like they're scaling it down.
And it's cool that the beta's in spring, which makes me think that beta is actually not like a promotional beta, but something they're taking seriously, which I always enjoy. Crackdown 3. Here's another interesting one.
I'm game. Multiplayer stream, I'm game.
Well,
That'll be fun.
That's all you get, Brandon, because multiplayer in summer 2016 is
Great.
how Microsoft has worded this.
Cool.
Meaning multiplayer is a separate mode of this game. That's all you're getting in summer of
What?
2016 for Crackdown 3.
What?
Yeah.
Multiplayer would seem like the hardest thing to do.
What?
Multiplayer is
That
all
would
they've
seem like
demoed
the last
so
thing
far.
that would be ready.
Yeah, so when they show like all of the stuff that you can like demolish a whole city and everything, they're showing multiplayer. They're saying you can't even demolish the city in single player; it would ruin the game. So yeah, everything they've shown so far, with like, hey, we're using the cloud to make this building shatter. That's all multiplayer, and that's all that you will get probably for Crackdown 3 of this year.
Huh.
Weird.
It's really interesting to see your expressions.
Weird.
I'm glad that you're discovering this now. Why is this weird? Why is this Like why?
Well,
is
if we're
that-
not getting a single player campaign for Crackdown 3 this year, and it comes out next year, who is going to care about that? Like,
Yeah.
who's
I almost think
how is that going to
drop it now.
raise the needle at all?
Yeah, it's It's weird.
Like-
I don't know.
Look-
But
look
is there any more details to just say that multiplayer?
And that's the thing. That is all. At Gamescom, they talked a lot about the multiplayer. They did not at all say when we launch the game, we're going to launch the multiplayer first. That announcement came in this weird press release.
And they haven't said it's multiplayer only or anything like that.
No, that's all we get from them is multiplayer in summer 2016. There was a tweet that said, "Hey, we'll tell you more about the launch soon."
Huh.
Yeah, the launch details soon.
I mean, look
Brandon's-
at all the backlash that Rainbow Six had for not having a single player, and that's
Oh, and Battlefront.
you know.
I wonder if it's just such like a C plus title, and they know it, that they're like trying to they're trying
Oh,
to
no.
they're just weaving through all of the huge things in fall and trying to find
It's
that
not a
perfect
C
weekend.
plus. It's not a C plus. Let's call it a single A, maybe.
Whoa,
No, I'm not talking AAA. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like
quality.
just
Quality.
not
Yeah.
not like there's like that game. I got to play that game. Then like when I'm done with that, I'll play this. It's like it's the next.
You're calling
thing.
it
Like,
7.8 right now.
A game trailer's 5 and everywhere else 7.8.
Right. And yeah, and I just think they're trying to pick and choose what weekend they really want to hit, you know, after like maybe some more people announce their launches.
I think though, if you're in the business, you can look at GTA Online and what it did in this year, and you can say, I don't think this is a bad idea to do this multiplayer only. I
Sure.
think you could justify the decision. Are you still shocked, Huber?
I'm really shocked. By it.
Blood, are you shocked? You said, huh? Do you think it's really that weird to launch multiplayer first?
It's it is weird if it's not super weird to have a multiplayer only game. It is weird to say, oh, we're gonna have single player, but no ETA on when it's gonna happen.
It's weird because it's a number. It's Crackdown 3, so you have that kind of continuity, that continuation, you know, and you're not really continuing anything because you don't have a single player, you don't have a story. I know 1 and 2 are so different, but
Right.
Do you think that it'll be like you buy Crackdown 3, it's multiplayer only at first, and then they'll just DLC in the
Possibly.
Oh,
the
gosh.
I just picture playing the story
later?
and then being like, okay, I'm on a mission, and they're like, there's a stadium in North. I'm like, I've been there 40 times. Like, I know.
And I was
know
able
it.
to, and I was able to floor it. I was able to demolish it
Right.
in multiplayer, and here I can't.
that's
so weird.
That's a whole nother conversation
Yeah.
because like I always finish the campaign of games before I play the multiplayer
Right.
because the multiplayer spoils the environments, it
Yeah.
spoils the weapons.
Yeah.
It's like you hop into a multiplayer match, it's like, yo, here's the Gatling gun. Single player, you don't get that Gatling gun until 4/5 of the way through the game.
Yeah.
So it definitely hurts. the campaign.
I'd almost say just make it a multiplayer game at this point. I don't know how much they've invested in that campaign or whatever. The voice acting, who knows? But I don't know. Yeah, just make a multiplayer. Just do it.
What if they
Or just
let
add
you
or
make
sprinkle in missions, you know, just
Yeah.
like have it launch as multiplayer and like something, just like a tiny little story thing, and then like there'll be updates later on.
Yeah.
Cool. Fable Legends open beta is spring 2016.
I feel bad for that game.
So long.
Wasn't it supposed to come out in 2015?
Yeah, there's there like
Or
I've-
2014.
I've played that game. It is very charming. It is actually
is.
very beautiful. The
is.
the clothing effects in that game are incredible.
Yeah.
I played as the boss, the villain, and like it's so much fun. I mean, just
is.
trapping guys, you know, like having a giant thing come out and them all run, and then you like drop bring a wall up right in front of them and see them all scatter and
So
freak
Brandon,
out.
what is taking this game so long?
There is no reason that game
Okay.
should have taken this long.
Yeah.
No reason at all.
I played it 2 E3s ago, and it was great.
Yeah. It's like
And-
this with more maps, you're done.
I'm worried because that game's going to get a lot of heat. That game, from what I played, that should be free to play. Should be free to play with some microtransactions
Wait,
thrown
Didn't they
in
announce
there.
that?
Is it not free to play?
Is it free to play?
Ian, we're gonna need you to fact check that.
I think they
On
announced
it,
that. I don't think it
boss.
was. I don't think it was when they announced it, but I think they announced it later.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it
Yeah, we
has
got a game.
the Fable legacy, you know, a lot of people revere that brand. I know Jones is
Are
giving
you
me some
sure a lot of people revere that
a
brand?
lot of Xbox enthusiasts.
Legacy's a strong word, Hubert.
Fable. It's an established brand.
Okay,
I
it's an
won't-
established. Absolutely, yeah.
I think I love
So,
Fable more than anyone else in this company, and I
Fable-
still am like, you.
Fable Legends is an upcoming free-to-play cooperative
Free-to-play, there it
action
is,
role-playing
cool.
video game
Yep.
developed by Lionhead Studios and published by Microsoft Studios for Microsoft Windows and Xbox One. It's the
Got
latest
something right.
installment in the Fable series of video games.
Ian,
Windows
thank you.
10.
I love those live updates.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about Recore, Xbox One and Windows 10, still slated for 2016. That was one of our. I really thought that game would get delayed out of this year. They're sticking to it. I'm excited about Recore.
I think it still will.
To get delayed.
Oh yeah.
Why are you so confident? That's
Mighty
confidence.
Number 9 got delayed, And we haven't seen anything of this.
Yeah.
And wait, are they giving specific dates for all the other games in just 2016? for
Some
this
of them
one?
have specific dates, and yeah, this one has none.
Any of them that just say 2016 are getting delayed.
Okay, so how about Sea of Thieves also coming to Xbox One,
Delayed.
Windows
Delayed.
10?
Yeah.
Hard
for sure.
delay for Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
Hard delay.
Next is Gigantic to Xbox One
That's
and Windows
definitely
10.
coming.
Blech. That's the MOBA. That is
Yeah,
this
MOBA
very
with too
stylish
many
MOBA.
rules for its own good.
Yeah,
Every-
nobody will play
stop.
it, but it'll
Everybody
come.
stop with these MOBAs.
Killer Instinct Season 3, Xbox One and Windows 10, March of 2016.
Sure.
The big news there is that coming to Windows 10 as well. I think we already knew, but it's just like it will come at the same time. Okay, Brandon's saying move along, doesn't want to talk about Killer Instinct, doesn't care. Gears of War 3 Ultimate Edition coming to Windows 10 in spring of 2016.
Gears of War 3?
No, Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Okay.
The same thing that just came out on Xbox One
Okay.
is coming to PC. Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, Xbox One and Windows 10 is
You
coming.
played the
spring.
original like a chump, Bloodworth.
What is?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what
You missed out.
Definitive is.
You missed out, Blood.
But again, I think this was the announcement of that title. I think it just appeared at the end of the
She's got like sunglasses on
Yeah,
the whole time.
Definitive Edition. Sure, there it is.
Like costumes.
Finally, Cobalt's coming to Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Steam February 2nd, very soon. Cobalt's is the next game from Mojang. So this
It's
will be
been out,
okay.
but it's been
Yeah.
out for like years or something. Like you could have played
Early
this
access, you
game-
mean?
I think so.
Okay.
On their website, it's been on their website for like years.
No, same thing with Minecraft. You know,
Yeah.
it was for the game was out for like 3-4 years before it came to console.
So Ian, is Cobalt going to be as big as Minecraft?
No, it would have been already if it was going to be.
yeah, nothing will ever be as big as
Minecraft was huge before it was out.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, obviously it won't, but it's interesting. You know, they bought Mojang, and we'll see the first game.
I remember getting like the review script for Minecraft. I was like, really? Like this?
Because it was like
I'm
3
sick of
years.
this game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm tired of Minecraft.
Like I've stopped.
and now it's out.
I stopped playing, then played again, then stopped again, then played again, then stopped again, and it came out.
So I want to talk about the interesting thing. Yeah, that is. It was. I feel like it was 3 years after you first started playing that game. Blood was talking to us before the show. He finds it interesting they say Windows 10 specifically for each of these
Yeah,
titles.
they want to force you guys to upgrade. Well, me too. I haven't upgraded.
Why have you not upgraded to Windows 10, and will you?
Yeah, I don't want to deal with figuring out a new operating system and then all the compatibility issues of things that aren't going to work on Windows 10.
So you're definitely not on Windows 8, right?
I'm on 7.
Okay. Because I feel like anyone who was on 8 easily goes to 10, like, oh, yeah, this is instantly better. But you're not convinced that 10 is better than 7 or good enough for you to move.
Yeah, I just, I'm wary of dealing with just the hassles of it.
Will you move for Sea of Thieves or Halo Wars 2?
Depending on Sea of Thieves, maybe.
Yeah, because it's almost that. It's almost like, hey, this is an exclusive. It's almost like selling an exclusive and like, oh, you have to upgrade to play this game.
It's just such a like the PC argument. It's such a hard sell because the majority of my friends will be playing Sea of Thieves on Xbox One.
Sure.
So I don't even need to worry about the PC version. That always comes down to like why I gravitate towards consoles more is because all my friends are there. Everyone's there.
Ian has something.
I was looking at the website for Cobalt to see if I could get any more information.
Yeah.
One thing is it's by Oxeye Game Studio, which is Jens Bergeson and a few other people from Mojang are in it, I guess. So it's like 3 people doing it.
Okay.
And then it says it'll be released February 2016, but then it says access the remarkably dated alpha today, which I think is really
That
charming.
is funny. That's cool.
That's funny.
And that means probably Cobalt proper will be much.
Yeah,
better or
they
whatever.
say it has like an adventure in it and all kinds of stuff. So
I do want to talk about what Huber was just talking about, though, is that a lot of these games on this list, maybe not a lot, but some of them, it was revealed that there's a Windows version of them, like Recore. Do you think that's an issue? We talked last episode about Sony with a lot of their exclusives. They're just saying console exclusive. This will also be on PC. Here we have Microsoft saying the same thing. Like, hey, this will be exclusive on our platform, and we're also putting it on PC.
I think if I could jump in
Yeah,
first here.
You certainly have.
Yeah, too late now. I mean, don't quote me on this. This might not be the case, but I think this might be phase 1 of Microsoft stopping making Xbox. Because they're like trying to, because they're making it all into one family.
That's a bold statement, Ian.
I don't know. They're losing hard, announcing your entire
They're not
game.
losing hard. They're not
your
losing
game's
hard.
loser
Making
tactics.
money.
I don't know. I just think like they're trying to make it all one thing, and sooner or later, a computer will just be an Xbox. Like, there won't be you could just do the same stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, it's weird, dude. I think there's at least one more Xbox console in my gut. I get that feeling because
They're gonna partner with Valve. Windows
they
10
wish.
Steam
No,
machines.
no. Valve has no interest in that.
Yeah. This is gonna shock the world.
So Ian says they're losing hard. Xbox One kind of is losing hard to the PlayStation 4. At global sales, it's almost 2-1. Though Xbox One is still selling extremely well, and I
Yeah.
think that's always worth mentioning.
Yeah, losing the race is necessarily losing like the Olympics. You know,
Yeah.
like I think they can still stay in it.
Wait, is losing the Olympics bad? Like you get a silver medal, dude. I would love a silver medal.
Silver
Yeah.
medal's not losing. Losing
Yeah.
the Olympics is getting like 50th,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's
like
being
you,
the Wii U.
and then
Yeah.
your country like doesn't let you back in.
Yeah.
It's like you're talking about new console. I mean, like you're not in the next Olympics. Like you're out.
Yeah.
You're so bad. You got there once, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Like Wii U right now would be 4th in the Olympics. They don't get a
It's like
medal.
watch it and then like, no, I will be back next year. I will,
Yeah.
I will be good next
But
year.
it's like a distant fourth.
Yeah.
It's
They
And
came
then
in like
Xbox
2
is, like,
hours
second.
later
They got that silver medal.
Yeah.
But their uniform is really colorful, and like the crowd just loves them. You know, they're just like.
because their crowd is all drunk.
Yeah, okay. We should move on. But yeah, I really love that they did that. I love that they came out and said, here's our games for 2016. Bloodworth is not convinced all those games will come out in 2016. But I like the statement. I do like that. And I think that was kind of cool.
Will Quantum Break have one more delay, or is that the final date? Is that
Final
a lock?
date.
Yeah, what is the best Xbox exclusive? of
Quantum
2016?
Break, Quantum Break, Quantum Break, Quantum Break,
Yeah,
break, break.
you're probably right.
I'm pulling for Recore.
Unless
Sea of
Gears
Thieves
is just
seems kinda
nuts.
Cool. I don't know.
Quantum Break. Remedy, man. Sorry.
Gears is interesting because it is a new team.
It is a new team,
Gears,
unproven
yeah.
team.
and
Remedy
Quantum
is
and Halo.
proven. They have proven themselves time and time again. They may take
Yeah.
10 years to make a game, but you know, every time it's going to be great.
But haven't they always just proven themselves to be cult successes?
Max Payne and Max Payne 2 are huge.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
huge games.
Alan Wake
Absolutely.
Alan Wake sold really well.
I loved Alan Wake. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that game.
Love
I
Alan
was
Wake.
I was all about Max Payne back in the day.
Our next story is, I think, a huge business deal. I don't know if any of us are going to get too excited about it. Activision Blizzard bought Major League Gaming, bought MLG, purchased, done. Here's how they explained it. This is part of Activision Blizzard Media Networks. I'll get a quote from Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision. Our acquisition of Major League Gaming's business furthers our plans to create the ESPN of esports. So that's why this purchase was made. Activision Blizzard wants to create the ESPN of esports. Panel, is that possible? Can there be an ESPN of esports?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. When you see how much traffic happens on Twitch, yeah. It's curious though whether they like mean that literally as a cable channel,
Yeah, I don't-
or not.
Because ESPN, we're talking about exclusives, just spends so much money to get those
So
sports,
much.
becomes expensive to use, makes cable expensive. Because ESPN exists, cable is expensive as
Yeah.
it is.
Thanks, Disney.
Because they want all the people to come to this one spot. If you want to watch Monday Night Football, come
But
to
the
ESPN.
thing, like, one of the most eye-opening experiences I've ever had in the industry was like going to E3 and like going to gaming events, and being like, "Hi, I'm from Game Trailers," and they're like, "Okay, cool, nice to meet you." And like the second we started doing GTTV, and those two letters would come out of my mouth, like. Like people would just freak out. So like I don't think that's
Yeah.
necessarily like indicative of their business plan. I think
Yeah.
it's just a really quick one sentence way from here to like, does that excite you? That's where we want to work.
they want to be big.
Yeah.
They want to be big.
Yeah.
Let me do a couple more details about this that I find interesting. It's not going to be MLG will not be Activision only games. They made that clear. They're going to continue to feature non-Activision games like Counter-Strike, Halo, Smite, Rocket League, Smash Bros. Weirdly enough, Call of Duty will continue to be partnered with ESL, a whole other league.
Oh,
Yeah, how weird is that? Probably they'll end that eventually, but
Yeah.
whatever. They're going to continue.
Yeah, they
their
have a
contracts.
contract, I'm
Yeah,
sure,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, is that a good deal? Do you think that's a smart buy or something that's going to look stupid in 5 years?
Didn't Activision just buy Candy Crush people?
Absolutely.
Way smarter than that.
I disagree, but all right. Why is this way smarter than that?
I think this is I think that is just kind of a weird, like they're just looking at paper, like they're not actually feeling like the spirit of kind of like what, you know, major movements that are happening across the entire spectrum of the game industry. And like I think this is a much more obvious area that someone needs to come in and use their access and use their capital to take it to places that otherwise possibly couldn't go.
Sure.
yeah.
Here,
I'm not a businessman, but I think it's cool because Blizzard has so many competitive games. I mean, they have Heroes of the Storm, World of Warcraft Arena, StarCraft 2, Overwatch is coming. So I think that's a really good way to promote all of their games
Yeah,
and
you better
hype
believe
them up even
Overwatch.
further.
Yeah,
Overwatch
huge
is going to
on
get
it.
so hyped at MLG
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's the
the
thing.
prize pools are going to get
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
MLG is like, you can use it as a joke, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, oh, just MLG, those, like that kind of like culture.
Hearthstone. I forgot to say Hearthstone.
But here's the thing: is they're super good at what they do, and basically that's what Activision is buying is like a talented group of people who actually know how to broadcast this stuff. And I think that's what the purchase is. I should say the Game Informer article said that it's probably around $46 million is what it was purchased for. Nothing confirmed, but yeah, you're right. In comparison to King, that is chump change and
Chump
probably
change.
way worth the investment.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's so established. They've been doing what they've been doing for so long. Like it's not gonna just like fall off a cliff somewhere.
It's really funny when I saw the number 46 million, because it was in reference to Activision Blizzard. I was like, oh, that's so cheap.
Yeah,
$46 million. Oh, that's nothing.
I would love to be purchased for $46 million.
So much money. Yeah, to them it's nothing.
Yeah. Let's move on to, well, you're the one who started this conversation! This one's actually from last year, and I just thought it always got like bumped because it's so long, but I want to do it. Let's. It's a 2015 question. Let's kill it, and then we'll be fresh. We'll have a new beginning. This comes from T. O'Keefe, and I always just thought it was interesting. T. O'Keefe 9. Does the panel feel that review events may cause the reviewer to give a different reviewer score due to the group experience at an event, as opposed to a reviewer playing a game in a normal review process? Some background. After watching the Battlefront stream the other day, it made me realize reviewers will discuss the game with one another at the event. This can cause both positive and negative effects. Either way, I would argue it will affect the individual's review itself. We've seen Metal Gear Solid 5 receiving universal acclaim. Clearly, this is from a while ago. And I believe we'll see Battlefront get very similar scores from reviewers. Okay, well, that's just became irrelevant. Let's skip forward. We can see this when a group of people go to the cinema together. Sometimes you get a sense the vibe in the cinema can affect your experience. I believe Metal Gear Solid 5 was worthy of most of the acclaim it received. However, I think the reviews would have been a lot more varied and therefore lower if they had been reviewed as standard. I understand the time limit to the review event was a factor in the scores too. Okay, how does the panel respond to this? Do review events positively and negatively affect reviews?
I can only speak for me personally.
Sure.
I have only been to a few.
What have you been to?
I have been to Battlefield Hardline and most recently Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
When he's talking about the cinema, I don't really get that comparison because everyone is there and the vibe is all on that one screen.
You're also all competitors.
This is you have your headphones, you have your personal TV, your personal space. It's still a singular thing, and I always make sure to give the game a fair amount of time in the office or at home outside of that setting
Really?
before I put the review up.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you want
I
to
did
cool
that-
off from those vibes?
Yeah, I did that with Battlefield. I did that with Rainbow Six. I went home. I played it at the office. Played it at home. Cooled off from those vibes because you want to play it in the home setting or in the office setting. And when those are online games, so I wanted to make sure the servers were up, how that experience was, not a contained server thing. So for me personally, it doesn't really affect anything. Especially if it was a single player game, it would have no effect whatsoever.
Brandon, I think you did both reviews called out in this, the Battlefront and the Metal Gear Solid 5,
Ben did
correct?
Metal Gear.
Ben did
Oh,
Metal Gear,
Ben did
yeah.
Metal Gear. So
Yeah, and Metal Gear's always worked that way, even back in the
4.
4 and,
Yeah.
and Peace Walker.
But I think you made a really good point, Huber, is that like the access you get post after the game, if they're like, the best way to do it is like on my way out, you give me the game so that I can go right back into the
And
office
they
play
did
it.
that with Battlefront, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Brandon was able to play it as much as he wanted after he did the review event.
I
Metal
think
Gear, did he just play it at the event and then have
Me-
to review it from that?
Metal Gear was
all
so
kinds
weird.
of mess. There were so
Are
many.
we allowed to talk about it? Can we? Is that embargoed?
We
or can
weren't
talk
even able
about
to take footage. We had to use freaking previously released
Oh, yeah.
footage.
In the
It was a
review.
huge mess. One of the biggest reviews of the year.
And there's
like
so
an
many
awful
different
product.
variable things you can do in that game. And so Ben, like the way Ben writes, he's just like, oh my God, there's this way. It's like a whole paragraph on literally
Yeah,
one
one
moment.
thing
And he's
that
just
happened.
like this thing. And then I talked to this guy and they did this thing. I'm like, oh my God, like in Pillars of Eternity or he's like, oh, this one quest became a cat. And, and he just would have these amazing moments. And it's like, we
then
can't
you
do
just
it.
have to show
Or you're
footage of,
literally
like,
just going to
some
see him like,
trees.
tranking a goat, while he's talking about this awesome tank sequence. And we're like, what are we going to do? Like he uses an assault rifle once.
So,
like how do we?
Brandon, though,
use that footage?
I want to talk to you about your review event. Did it affect how you felt about the game?
I think everything affects how you review the game. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but you have to consider at the same time, like if you have a cold, that's going to affect your review.
If you had a bad sandwich.
Oh,
if you
just
actually,
broke up with a girlfriend, that's going to affect your review. Like,
Crisis 2, I was at a review event and also sick as a dog.
right?
and that affected your review.
Who
yeah.
knows?
If you know people there, like yeah, certainly you're going to talk to them. If you don't, like you're not going to talk to them.
I actually,
time-
don't talk to a whole lot of people at review events.
I mean, just being EIC, being new to this role, like I try to talk to as many people, just to be like, I think
gotta
I
be
know
Slick
you.
Rick.
Where do you
Yeah.
work? But I think, I mean, even in the office, we talk about stuff. So like, I think that's not as much of an influence as you think, because like we'll have our own opinions going into a game. We'll certainly want to talk about it. Like if we get a game on Friday, that Monday, everyone's like, okay, here comes Ben. Like what how's Fallout? Or like how what did you think of the first part of this? And even though your friend's not playing that game, based on what you say, that could possibly have influence your opinions. So I think like how much you're influenced, it can't really be blamed on a review event. I think that just is always in the eyes of the reviewer, and I don't think that there is a exponentially increased danger of being influenced at a review event as opposed to just any other time.
When
talking to your family, talking to your friends, talking to your coworkers.
When I reviewed Evil Within, I made sure to only play it at night in the dark with my headphones, because that's the kind of game it is. I'm
Sure.
not playing that game in the
is-
office with people talking broad
Right.
daylight. Like, no. So for a horror game specifically, it's me personally. I want to play that thing.
that
and
is actually kind of funny. Headphones sometimes can make a big
Yeah.
difference.
There was one reviewer at when I went to do Black Ops 3 that I was chatting with over a Coke, and they were I was just like, what do you think of zombies? And they were like, I hate zombies. And I'm like, oh, you didn't think they'd pull it? He's like, I just hate the mode. I hate it. And I'm like, okay. And I had like an interesting 10-minute conversation about him. Like, what he didn't like. He didn't like it was balanced. I was like, all right. And then like went and like, shooter of the year. I think that mode's amazing. You're Jeff Goldblum, fighting like Hydra things. It's incredible. So yeah, I've heard many conflicting opinions at review events and at preview events and all sorts of things. Yeah, I just would never want to do that. I wouldn't want to get an opportunity to see Andrea Renee, to see Vic Lucas from Electric Playground, to see these guys that just like I need to see 4 times a year. Like, yeah, let's talk about Battlefront. And it's kind of fun to talk about their experiences as well. Like, and Vic mentioned my name because I pwned as Boba Fett in one like multiplayer match. And so I think it's one way to maybe combat that is to try to get as much of that out, in your coverage is actually like, here's who was at that event. Here's who I talked to.
Yeah.
You can see Jeff Gersman and flying around in a jet, in my Black Ops 3.
That's always
footage.
fun when you shoot down somebody from another outlet.
Yeah.
And another thing about that too is there are guys that I've been seeing at events forever, for like 7, 8, 9 years, and when I go to read their articles, like almost every time I'm like, what the crap are you talking about?
Right.
I have no clue how that is your assessment of this game. This just doesn't even make any sense. You didn't say anything worthwhile to me. I just forget it.
I need you to be a little more specific.
Yeah,
Disappointed.
He doesn't want to call anyone out. I know you don't want to call anyone out. All right. Okay.
I think it's lastly, I think it's funny you talk about just emotions, if you have a cold. I remember Roger Ebert, the most famous reviewer of all time.
Right.
I forget what movie it was, but he said he was extra hard on a movie because he had just broken up with his girlfriend.
Harry
He
Knowles,
admitted it.
Harry Knowles, who's an awesome film critic from a site called Ain't It Cool News, infamously in all of his reviews, I don't know if he makes all of the, I haven't read a lot of movie reviews there lately, but I don't know if he makes his other people do it, but when he writes a review, like the first 40% of the review is just his day, just what he was up to, just so you have that mental frame of reference, and you'll have a clear line. So if you want to skip all of that, you can go all the way down, just like, okay, then I sat down and I watched the movie.
That's
but
why
it just,
I'm into
it's
that.
interesting.
That's why the well-respected mandatory update review system utilizes the mandatory update mood index.
Gotta have the mood index.
You gotta have the
Mood
mood
index.
index. You gotta know the mood going into this
Yeah.
thing.
It's all part of it.
Yeah, and
part
then
of
what? Witcher 3, I was locked in my bedroom for a week and a half.
And you went insane. You thought that game was good. It doesn't make
Oh my
any
gosh.
sense.
So we're going to move on. T. O'Keefe, thank you for submitting that question clearly months ago before reviews came out from Battlefront, but I always thought it'd be interesting to talk about that.
He's dead now. Kyle, I hope you're happy.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
T. O'Keefe, let us know if you're still alive.
Yeah, please. Are you all right?
Can you watch the show?
Great question.
It is
T. O'Keefe.
time for bets. Ian, can you let us into the vault? Okay. We'll just wait here.
He lost the key.
Okay.
He's got to find it.
Okay, so Here's our bet. Okay. Oh gosh. We're into the vault.
Now you're in the vault.
Okay. Thank you.
I locked him in already, though. I'll just do it again
Can
later.
you unlock them? Okay. All right. So, Awesome Games Done Quick. You know, this is the massive semi-annual speedrunning streaming event that raises money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. That's happening this week, ending on Friday, I believe. Friday night, maybe it's Saturday. But the last game scheduled to be streamed is Final Fantasy IV. No Cash is the streamer, the runner, I guess that would be called. The estimated block of time for this run is 3 hours and 35 minutes. What will the actual time be for this run of Final Fantasy IV on Awesome Games Done Quick? Bloodworth, since you are a champion, you will be first to reveal your bet.
All right. Yeah, this one I probably is going to start my year off bad, but who knows? 3 hours, 51 minutes.
You're saying it goes way over.
Goes over.
Okay, cool. Brandon Jones.
342.
See, I think it's going under. I went with 318.
Shit, Kyle.
Go ahead, Hubert. Reveal your bet.
3 hours, 29 minutes, and 46 seconds.
I like the seconds. We all should have done seconds. That's a foolish mistake. Let me lock those in. Okay, we have a bonus bet because we don't have any results. We didn't do a bet at the end of last year. So this is just a bonus bet. This is a side bet. This is something that's been happening a lot. I'm clearly very excited about Nintendo's NX that is coming this year. Michael Huber insists that I'm crazy, that there's no way the NX is coming out this year.
There's no way.
So we
There's
have
no way they're announcing it and releasing it in the same year.
I'm telling you that's happening.
No.
It's never happened before. True. That has never happened before in Nintendo history. I'm telling you it's happening now. Huber, what happens if I lose this bet?
If the NX is released in 2016, Kyle Bossman must live stream.
No, if it isn't released. If it's released, I win the bet.
I'm sorry. From the top.
Okay.
If the NX is not released in 2016, Kyle Bossman must live stream on Game Trailer's Twitch 10 full minutes of stand-up that has never been used in the history of humanity ever before. Fresh, original, for the first time ever used jokes.
Real stand-up.
Stand-up.
That's a long title.
Redemption.
I just want to
Yeah.
make sure
for the
there's
fans.
no-
Airtight.
It's airtight.
Keeping it airtight.
Yes.
All right. When the NX comes out this year, Michael Huber,
Okay.
you will also have to stream something for 10 minutes.
Oh, God.
I hope Mike loses because then we get it sooner. You know? Hope NX comes out like next month. That'd be great.
Here's what happens, Huber. We're going to make you put on an improvised play. We're going to hand you 6 action figures. You're not going to be able to see these action figures ahead of time. You're going to have to put on a play using these 6 action figures as your characters. The title of the play will be the first suggestion from the Twitch chat.
God.
And then you will have to put on for 10 minutes a play featuring these 6 action figures using the title suggested by chat.
Okay.
Do you agree to these terms?
I agree to the terms.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's lock that in.
Lock it.
Okay. Oh man, I'm pumped for that.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck to you too. I mean,
If I lose, the NX is out, so that's pretty
yeah, the
cool.
NX
Yeah,
is
exactly. Yeah, we all win if you lose, basically.
I'm so
Sunshine
pumped.
and rainbows.
Obviously, part of the reason I wake up every day is I'm closer to the NX. I'm so pumped for it.
But it's got to be out. Is that we have to have the NX in our hands. It can't be it's coming out in December.
and
And
not
they're
even,
well, you
needs to
lost.
be
And then
released.
it's September. They're
it could get delayed. I see what
yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
We have to physically be holding the NX.
Cool.
You have to smugly open
What
it
if,
up.
what if they send us a dev
Doesn't count.
kit early?
No. It's got to be
Release.
released.
Has to be retail.
All right.
Yeah.
Someone bought it
Nix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
In the U.S.
So Ian, I have a little treat for you actually because we don't have a winner for this week. You get all the responsibilities and privileges of a winner of the bets.
It's cheap.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can tell everyone what your Twitter handle is. You can suggest any video we should watch on GameTrailers.com. You get the final word of the episode, and you also get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So much
I've never
pressure.
gotten to do this before.
yeah, this is a rare opportunity.
Well, I'm at Ian Hink.
Nice.
On Twitter. I was happy with the New Year's Eve mandatory update.
Of all the videos you've done, that's the one. All right, no, it's your you promote it. Okay, I'm sorry.
What else would I promote?
You've done many better episodes of Mandatory Update.
I'm not sure.
All right, so give it a shot. What is it? What is the New Year's episode of Mandatory Update?
It's a high octane thrill ride of just constant content. But yeah, tune in tomorrow for a new mandatory update that's going to be thrilling. Mandatory update. Whatever.
I need more than that. I need more than what is tomorrow's that's thrilling?
Tomorrow we're going to be taking your notes on the show. We're going to be doing
You're taking my notes on the show?
not your notes, the viewers' notes.
Okay.
And then we're going to also be doing a new segment that I'm calling Jolly Cooperation.
That's how you do a tease.
Such good
There we
vibes.
go.
It's going to
Okay.
be wonderful.
cool.
Yes. And then my final word, I didn't really disagree with anything. I think that Awesome Games Done Quick, they make their estimate longer than it usually takes historically, I think. But yeah. Anyway, good night and good game. Now are you guys going to wave or not?
I love.